Good afternoon. My name is Scott Ruther, Chief Strategic Officer at T3Live.com. Welcome to today's recap and look ahead.
观众朋友们，大家好，欢迎收看今天的直击美股，我是主持人张叔，在纽约向您问好。周四美股收跌，今天三大股指几乎都下跌了1%左右。今天市场主要受到了苹果股价的拖累，以及日本央行维持政策不变这样一个消息的打压。但我们看到今天依然有一系列的宏观经济数据发布，其中包括了一季度美国 GDP 数字是上涨了0.5%，这也是创下了自2014年第一季度以来最糟糕的一个季度表现。但是我们看到就业市场依然在稳步的增长回温当中。上一个星期的一个周失业金申领人数就是创下了25万7千，一个不温不火的数字。但我们看到整体来说，宏观经济方面喜忧参半的数字是给美联储的下一步利率决议增加了更多的不确定性。好的，更多的消息让我们来看一下今天交易员的独家分析。Hi Scott, U.S. stocks traded lower today, weighed by the declines in Apple and also the Nikkei 225 after the BOJ just decided to keep the policy unchanged. So it seems like we just started bleeding lower. So how do you think about the overall market?
Well, it's getting testy. You know, the S&P's back at 2100. You know, things kind of looked okay after the Fed, and then this morning we were down 15 handles based on the fact that the BOJ did not give helicopter money. But, you know, it felt kind of constructive this morning. You know, we came in here, I was long the spiders and the Qs. I added lower, thinking maybe we could bounce up, and the day was slow and steady. But then all of a sudden, technology that has been weaker started to reverse. Okay, Google, that's in the penalty box, started to reverse lower. Microsoft in the penalty box, reverse lower. IBM, reverse lower. Netflix, reverse lower. And then all of a sudden, Uncle Carl comes out and says he sold his Apple position that, you know, put a little bit more of a, you know, a negative tone on the market. If you look real quickly at the chart of the SPX, you'll see, you know, we came back up into old resistance, okay, and kind of just fell short. But here we are right at the trend line. This 21-day moving average is something that it's held the entire way. So whenever you get to a crucial spot like we did today, you know, you have to take notice. But you know what? It hasn't broke yet. You take a close look here, and every time, you know, since basically, you know, March 24th, it's been a better buy at the 21-day, a better buy at the 21-day, a better buy than a sell. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. All in all, the Qs, very ugly, you know, big engulfing bar. The Qs have already broke its trend line, broke the 21-day moving average right here, and closed below the 200-day. So this better jump up fast. Otherwise, this is going to help lead to more weakness, and a lot of the key names are adding negativity, not positivity.
Well, speak of tech sector, actually, this market had been losing some momentum since coming in this week, since we have relatively weak data from the tech names. So actually, how do you think about this sector? And also today we have the positive report from Amazon and also LinkedIn. Will they be the lifesaver tomorrow?
Well, people thought Facebook would be the lifesaver today, and Facebook gapped up and was sold all day, you know, and then also the market came in. So, you know, you have to treat during earnings season stocks separately. And right now, I still think Facebook looks great, you know, but now you have to look at the post-earnings low, because anything could happen. We talked about the post-earnings low in all the names from last week. And if you look real quickly, Google, you know, we talked about the hole in the chart and the penalty box. You know what? Here's your hole in the chart, never filled. Some guys probably made money when it went below the post-earnings low, boom, to the downside. Microsoft also put in the penalty box. Okay, so, you know, when it failed near highs, all of a sudden a big hole like this that doesn't get filled, boom, to the downside. Another extra short trade through the 200-day. You could say the same thing for Netflix, to the downside, okay? Look at that hole. Very similar patterns. That's why I show them all the time. But then today you had Facebook, and Facebook did gap up, but if you weren't long into the report or trading into after hours, you know, it was sold. So for tomorrow, we'll see how much of this gap holds. Same way you have a hole to the upside, this is a hole, I mean, to the downside. So this one, what you want to do is you want to trade it versus 116.23. So it opened up, you couldn't buy the open. Now we have to see if we get a methodical buy here. So like you said, you know what, Amazon is up a lot. So we'll see, you know, what happens here. This is the old highs in Amazon. You had very impressive earnings. We'll see what happens, but I wouldn't chase it up open. What I would do is let it trade, and then we'll figure out the gap. And some of you guys do have LinkedIn calls. I talked about the potential of this quarter with this lower base here. Hopefully you bought the, you know, the 128s or the 130s, and there's a big gap here to get filled. The stock is broken, but there was a trade after hours. So all in all, Annabelle, very stock specific. You have to kind of love them and leave them, long or short, but typically the trend after earnings is the dominant direction, and all those negative reports you've seen in the last week and a half, they're continuing that downside direction, and at this point the market is hovering on very important upper support.
Okay, and also because of the unpleasant surprise given by the BOJ, we have the gold heading higher. So how do you think about the gold?
Well, gold looks good. 3-month base. I'm actually long the GLD. I talked about being in the options, a week ago, and it'd be nice to see if this could break out. You talk about patterns and you look for follow through. Well, this triggered above 120, so that got me back in the GLDs. You have a 3-month base after a big move. So it looks like it wants to get up to 124 to 126. You go to the weekly chart real quickly here and you'll see, although it's had a big move this year, it still has a lot more room.
Okay, time is up. We have to leave it here.
Yes, and I would just say keep tuning in because the action keeps rotating. You can make money long, short, and during earnings season. It's very stock specific.
好的，感谢您的收看，我们明天再见。